Ladies and gentlemen, I have been warned not to click on any game related to the Financial Post articles because they're all political rage bait fake reviews like the recent Spider-Man 2 one. They're not gaming website and they don't play games. Do not give them attention. Confirmed to be satire. Unfortunately, they don't take themselves satire, but yeah, it's literally like the idea of getting people to click on their articles by writing some of the most inflammatory stuff. It has worked for a while, but usually people catch on to this, and they have nothing of value to add. Like there are places where they do make rage bait that is actually good. But in the case of the Financial Post, I don't think that this tactic is going to work for them. So, as I'm going to read to you, you're going to wonder if it's satire or not, but you can verify it. Like, you can go into their website and see it for yourself, although I would encourage you not to give them the click. And it says, like, the older I get, the more I see that the nearly 40-year-old Mario franchise is a metaphor for class conflict. Right. The privileged elite, light-skinned men and women, including Mario, Luigi, and Daisy, and Princess Peach, live in vibrant kingdoms with glimmering castles atop hills surrounded by beautiful gardens and villages filled with smiling servants known as toads. Beneath their feet are sewers and dungeons populated by the disenfranchised, Goombas and Koopa Troopas, who see Mario as a symbol of their repression. They understandably take any opportunity they can try to stab him with a spike or whack him with a mallet, and then the article just goes even worse than anything you would have read in 2016 from publications that are now trying to go bankrupt. Um, this is a really interesting point at showing the tourist. Like this is literally the tactics of people who try to subvert your hobby. But this is like to such an extreme that if I was to have like a right wing university where I teach people about the tactics of the left and how to preserve your hobbies, I would use this as an example. I don't know, like this is so amazing. It's textbook example of how subversion works, right? So like they pretend that they're a Mario fan, right? They were playing it as a kid. So they're trying to speak as if they're a member from the community, right? Like they're a tourist. They have traveled to your community. They have traveled inside your borders to pretend that they are one of you. And then they want drastic changes because, according to them, your culture lacks in morality. And it doesn't like try to evaluate or understand why things are the way they are. Like it hasn't tried to contact any developers that have worked on Mario. It doesn't try to actually do any interviews or look at the. No, it will make assessments. Like he knows why things are the way they are. It's not only that things are bad, but he knows why they are the way they are, right? Like it's a metaphor for class conflict. Like he knows what's inside the developer's head without even having to talk with them. Like the mind of an activist is like Charles Xavier's. So basically, the reason that Mario is the way it is very simple. Back in the day, there wasn't a lot of space on those cartridges. Video gaming was its infancy. So creating a story that was presentable in a couple of cutscenes was what most people went with. It's like, okay, well, there's a princess and it's being kidnapped by a dragon. They're basically using folklore in order to connect with people, right? Like the story of the evil dragon kidnapping the princess has existed for hundreds of years, and that's what they're going with, right? Like Bowser the dragon is kidnapping Princess Peach, and Mario has to go. There's like no politics involved. Like it doesn't have to make sense. It's a game for children. It doesn't really try to explain to us how the Mushroom Kingdom is governed. Like what is the bureaucracy of the Mushroom Kingdom? What exactly does the Mushroom Kingdom charge for taxes? Right? Like none of that matters. The only thing that matters is that the Mushroom Kingdom requires Princess Peach. The idea that Princess Peach is white because white supremacy is also dumb. Like, the game is made by Japanese people. The person that made the game had absolutely no way of knowing it's going to become popular in the United States. It had absolutely no way of knowing that the game is going to be a worldwide phenomenon that's going to be something that people of any races and ethnicities would love playing, right? Like, none of that was there. I mean, take it into account that from the perspective of the Japanese, the video game was very diverse, right? Like, they, instead of casting a Japanese person, they casted an Italian. I mean, no. But anyway, right? This is like having, imagine this, right? Imagine an alternative world where Africa actually does have Wakanda, right? And the nation of Wakanda is blaming the video game industry for pushing black supremacy because there's too many black characters in it, and the video games are made in the United States. It's kind of like that level of argument, like that how crazy and insane it is, but like for some reason we heard this argument so many times that we have to pretend the people making it actually do have some logic or some sense when they clearly don't. So yeah, and then, you know, saying that it's like a class thing. We're not even talking about humans. Like, we're talking about Goombas, Koopas, and Troopas. I mean, it's a game that's made for children. And the reason that they're living... first of all, they're not living in the sewers, right? Like, not all of them. But they're animals. Like they're literally pelicans and, like, fantasy creatures. They're not all of them living in the sewers. Like, Bowser lives in a fucking castle. The reason that Bowser lives in a bad castle is because in the game he's a bully. He oppresses people, right? And Princess Peach is compassionate, is empathetic. If anything, you can make that this is a call to feminism, that the princess's kingdom is a lot better. And despite what Anita Sarkeesian says, it's like, oh my god, well, you know, Mario is the most important. No, it's like the whole reason for the story is that the Mushroom Kingdom falls into disarray without the princess. Like, the moment the princess is kidnapped, her knowledge and statesmanship and her ability to govern is so paramount that literally no one can replace her. And notice how the princess doesn't even have, like, a royal family or anything. And Mario is a plumber, but, like, in that video game, no one has plumbing issues. It's like, nothing makes sense because it's not supposed to. Again, it's a video game for children. It's a platformer where you play with a little guy that jumps and he eats mushrooms and grows big. But like, the whole point is to get people to believe in this nonsense, because, like, if you believe, unironically, that Mario is problematic, then they can get you to believe any type of shit. This is like what the left-leaning ideology is about, is to get people to believe the absurd, and if you don't believe the absurd, you get ostracized from left-leaning groups, and once you believe the absurd, you can believe anything. I gotta point out, like, I spoke with many people that aren't politically active, and they told me that they can get along with almost every single ideology out there. Like, I know people that can go along with Islamists. I know people that can go along with right-wing fanatics, like actual, you know, white nationalists, and they can get along with libertarians and MAGA people. They can go along with left-leaning people, like Canadian left-leaning. The only group of people that they cannot go along with are like the far left, because the way they described is that if you meet far left people, they can be friendly and they can be very nice and intelligent and charismatic. But the moment you say one thing that upsets them, it's like flipping a switch. It's like flipping a switch. The moment you did a single slight, the amount of hatred and venom that they're capable of is astonishing. And not only, like, do they just want to distance themselves from you, like, they will absolutely try to ruin you. And the thing is, like, other ideologies, like, they usually, like, give you a way out. Like, even an Islamist will allow you to convert, and then, like, if you converted, and then if you make some mistakes in the beginning, they will be lenient. With the far left, it's not like that. You made one mistake, you're out. It's like a switch. And this is, like, how they indoctrinate people into it. This is like the purity spiral. It's like, do you agree with this? And if you're like, no, I don't agree with this is nonsense, well, then you're out. And if you agree with this, it's like, okay, but, like, what do we do now? Like, we need to harass people that disagree with this. This is why this thing exists, right? And it also creates rage bait. Let me know what you think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.